Okay, hello folks. Welcome to another of our Pitobi streams. We're going to be doing some TypeScript survival exercise stuff today. Um, Mark, I'm Wade Harkins. I'm on the Angular team at Pitobi, joined by Mark Thompson, who's also on the Angular team at Pitobi, and David Nicholas, who is not on the Angular team at Pitobi. He's on the React team. And if you guys unmute yourselves, you can be heard. If you want to say anything before we get started. If not, cool. Oh, wait. Hold on. I lied. You cannot be heard yet. Give me a second. Do, 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 do.
Being censored by the internet
Okay.
censorship
Now
committee.
people can hear you.
Now they can hear us.
I knew I forgot
Awesome.
to do something. Okay. All right. So I will switch over to the VS Code. Okay. So what are we looking at now? And who wants to go first? So I posted, or I guess Mark posted the link to the repo that we're doing these exercises from in chat earlier. So I think the plan here is to just kind of rotate working through these. And
Yeah.
looks like
Yeah.
Mark is starting with exercise number 3 for some reason.
Yeah. If you go into the 0, 0 hello world, that's where the mysterious exercises 1 and 2 are. But I think that's just mostly to get an understanding of how this works. But yeah, basically, if you see on line 12, there is an equal and an expect. You can see there's a red squigglies. That's telling us that the type that we're trying to form isn't correct. We'll have to, in this particular case, change my func return on line 10 to whatever the right answer is. And then you can't see the file structure. Oh, you can. It's on the right-hand side for you. How's it on the right for you? What?
Because I put it over there to be weird and make it so that our lovely faces are not potentially covering up code.
But now it's covering up the file. That's fine.
All right, fine. I can move us down.
No. It's
Whee!
great. It's great the way it is. I love it. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay. But yeah, you can see that there's an exercise direct or file, and then below it is a solution. So we're going to try to solve each one of these, and then we're going to check against the solution. It'll be fun. Yeah, and maybe we should shout out the repo that we got these exercises from. I posted the link in chat already, but I'll post it again just because. Total-type-transformations-workspace. Awesome stuff by Matt Pocock. I hope you're saying your name right. Thank you. All right, cool. So yeah, who wants to go first? Should we like flip multiple coins, or should we write a quick like random of 3 JavaScript function to figure out who? Should we derail this and write like a drawing straws application and then see who? I'll go first. Just
Perfect.
means
That
I
was
get the
easy.
easy. Alrighty. Yeah. So I'll see. Hopefully you can see where I'm at. You guys
Yes, I'm following
see
you.
me? Awesome. So I'm going to naively solve this. I see that it wants the answer to be string, so I'm just going to say string. And that works, right? But that's kind of cheating, right? I don't think that's what they're looking for. So I'm gonna be a little bit more fancy. And yeah, maybe if you read the comments, yeah, that's a good point, David. How do we extract my func return from my func? That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, so I'll do like return type, because that's so you can get return types of functions, and then I just need the type of the function. So there we go. Did it.
Oh, geez, I didn't even know return type was a thing.
Yeah, it's very magical, magic sauce. Oh, look at all that extends magic infer.
Oh,
Ooh,
are
the
you looking at
mysterious
are you
TypeScript
hovering?
refer.
Infer
Oh,
is really
Lord.
cool.
Yeah, that's
Is this
oh, no,
thing
I'm hovering over the wrong
plugged into
thing.
it?
There we go. Return type. That's better.
Yeah, does that work? It works on my screen.
Oh, really?
I don't think Wade has the extension installed.
I mean, I
What?
have the extension installed.
What? Where you type
/2.
caret question mark?
Yeah.
It gives you
No.
the type that you get when you hover over it.
It's
That's
super
fancy.
helpful for like debugging. But anyways, so yeah, I think that is a reasonable solution. Should we look at the solution for it?
Sure. I think you killed it.
Nailed it.
Did you?
You can also get the parameters. I love that you can get the parameters. That I don't think that was always a thing. In chat, in addition to return type, you can also get the parameters. Yeah. That's like really powerful.
Okay. So yeah, it
cool.
looks like you did exactly what.
I can find a link to the extension. Give me a second.
I just had it too. If you search /2, it should pop it up, the extension.
Yes. It's the 2/ queries.
2/. Oh, I did it backwards.
Yeah. I don't have Twitch all set up over on my side, Mark. So I'm going to DM you the link. Can you drop it in chat?
Yeah. Yeah, for anyone who's curious about this mysterious extension that we're talking about, this is an awesome plugin for writing TypeScript stuff. Yeah. Alrighty, cool. So now that I've thrown myself into the fire, who wants to work on the number 4?
I can
That
take
return
it.
type thing made me lose confidence in how easily I'm going to be able to solve these. So I will happily, or maybe putting off volunteering is just making it harder on myself.
Yeah, exactly. The later you volunteer, the harder your problems are going to be. Yeah.
All right, so we're following you now, David.
Yeah. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to take this one?
Also, should we set the ground rules? Is it cool if we Google stuff? Is it cool to just like treat this like a work day?
I think you should have to ask chat first.
Chat, what's the rules? How?
Wait, we should have to ask
up
chat for the rules, or we should have to ask chat if they know or for help first, and then Google.
Only ask chat for help.
Help chat.
I think
the rule is ask chat. Okay, so we can only ask chat for help. Okay, fine. That's fair.
Sweet. I like it.
All right.
Cool.
Well, I'll say this. Chat's already been very helpful.
Yeah. I think we actually got the answer for this one. So just like return type, we can actually grab the parameters using parameters.
Yeah. Another one of those cool built-in type utilities.
Yeah. And then since make query is actually a value, it's not a type, we can use type of to actually get the type of it. The query, just like that. And it looks like everything's working. If we hover over it, we can see a bunch of cool stuff. It's done everything we need.
Poggers.
Ooh.
We did it, guys.
We
awesome.
Did it. Great work.
Great work. All right, let's just see what is the solution verbatim the exact same thing?
Looks like it.
Yeah, looks like it.
Nice.
All right, Wade, I think you're up.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Wait a minute, is this one? Okay. So, return type. Okay, so it's got a promise as well. That's literally the only difference between this and the previous, or the get function return.
Oh, okay.
So is there a magical awaited?
There sure is.
Yeah.
I think you could also write this one using like conditional types.
Yeah, I also say
grabbing out of the value using like infer, you can grab the value out of the promise. I think we can look at that after though. I think you're right on the money with it, Wade.
Yeah, there's definitely a built-in Chabobberish thing. But I don't know that one, so I would have gone straight for the conditional type.
Conditional type, you say?
Yeah, but there has to be like
rusty in TypeScript, or just didn't know about most of these things.
I'm going to break the rules, and I'm going to look if there's a list of TypeScript utilities.
If you if you just command click on return type, it'll take you into the lib.es5 DTS, and it actually has all the types. And if you look online, 1533. Can you still see my stuff? You can see that there is an awaited.
Awaited. It's literally just called awaited. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
based on the name of the thing. So I think that's something I'd have to nest in here. Or
Almost.
other way,
Almost.
the other side.
Yeah, other way. Yes, I also, so I guess it's not exactly breaking the rules of chat. I had this link memorized, and then I pasted it into chat, a list of all the utility types. So that is not cheating. Am I right? Yeah, that looks great.
The link's
Cool.
in chat. How could you have cheated?
Exactly. Yeah.
Presumably
pretty good.
that's how they did it as well. It is.
Yeah. Thank you, Moo,
What do you mean, sure, Mark?
for the helpful link.
Yeah. What a swell guy.
Do we want to try to do this one with just like the conditional types and infer as well, or do we just want to move on?
Do you want to showcase how to do it? I mean, I know how to do it, but like, I know chat's just dying to know how to do the inferred way.
Let me see if I can do this. A lot of pressure here.
Yeah.
Right. Then we just need to go type of user extends. Oh, do I need to put this in quote? Or... Okay, so then we need to actually figure out what it extends. So we're just going to say it's a function that returns something. I'm going to type the args to any because spam any. Nothing's ever gone wrong with that. Then I think we can just go promise, infer, value. Otherwise, we're just going to put never on there.
Yeah.
We get the same thing.
Craziness. And like if you, I'm just going to comment this for a second. Yeah, like if you hover over awaited, you'll see a very similar looking to Bobber. They have like a little extra sauce on it, but it's conditional types under the hood, basically. Yeah.
It's really cool too, because like we can use this infer value to essentially like unwrap that like promise generic. So
yeah,
infer
or any generic, basically.
Interesting. I've never heard of infer.
Yeah, it has to be used inside of like the extends clause in a conditional type. So like those are your rules around it. I kind of think of it personally as like, okay, TypeScript, I've given you like enough to like be able to figure this out, like figure it out for me, infer this.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good way to think about it or not. That's kind of how I do though.
Yeah. I think of it like what's almost like in a functional programming aspect, like where like if I give you enough context of what this function does or like this thing does, then like give me the arguments for that thing.
So what about the ternary bit, the value and the never? Is that covering for the case where like if the promise doesn't resolve, that it never returns?
So this extends kind of functions the same way as you would like when you like constrain a generic. So it has the same syntax. If this right here, this extends. So basically, if type of get user looks like this or shares a similar shape, then this is going to be returned. Otherwise, we're just returning never. This could be anything since we're looking at a really simple case. We don't need to simplify it at all. I just chose never since we're actually not going to get there in this case. But
yeah. For ternaries, there's no, you either have to have an if else. So if we could, we would have just said if in this case, and we don't need the else. There's not a situation where it's not going to extend a function that returns a promise. So yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what we said. We said if the type of user is like some function that returns a promise, like give us whatever the promise resolves to, and put whatever it resolves to into this type parameter value. And then since this is true, we know value exists, so we return value.
Okay,
we actually can't use value here. We can't use value here, and if we try to, we'll get a type error saying it's out of scope.
Yeah, I can't find that. All right, that's cool.
Yeah, pretty good. All right.
Yeah, the solution used awaited. And in general, you should probably use awaited because there are some more things on that defined type, but it's kind of a cool thing we can look at.
I'd also would say too, like what's it like after every couple of major releases, or I guess even minor releases of TypeScript, like keep an eye on those like utility types. I mean, like at one point, capitalize, uncapitalize, uppercase, lowercase, like those weren't things. And then way back before then, parameters wasn't a thing. And of course, awaited. I don't even know when awaited was introduced.
I think
awaited was like
good question.
recent. Yeah, version 4.5. Oof. Yeah.
Not too long.
Yeah. Well, we're barely hitting 4.9. But yeah.
Yeah, they just did the
pretty cool. Satisfies.
Satisfies.
Can we use satisfies in these problems?
I don't think so. I think we only have 4.8 on this project.
Package JSON. That would be kind of funny. Yeah, we're not at 9 yet. Oh well, darn. Make a PR. Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and close all these tabs. So I think I'm up to bat.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I need to grab the keys of whatever testing frameworks is. So I want these guys. They say that Vitest?
Vitest.
This is Kingdom Hearts nerds. Anyone? No one. All right, cool. Jest, Mocha. Is Vitest a testing? No, it is a testing framework, huh?
Yeah,
line 3. Okay.
I would say based on what I'm seeing, it must be.
Sweet. Okay, well, there's another cool thingy which is key of, and I want the keys of the type of whatever that thingy is. Huzzah! I did it.
Nice.
What are these things called? What's key of and type of called? I don't even know. Are these operators?
Yeah,
call those so. Operators.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
Which is weird because it does that mean type and const aren't technically operators, are they? They're like.
No, yeah, they're not, right? They're just.
Declaration.
I always call them keywords.
Yeah, keyword is a very safe thing to call them, I think.
But
I would say these of things probably have some more specific type or name for the type of keyword they are.
Yeah, I wish, because I want to pull up a list of all these operators or whatever they're called. It'd be nice to know, because I'm sure that surely there's like more than key of and type
of.
Go
through chat. You can't do a list.
I'm just saying, chat. It'd be really cool if someone found that list. Also, speaking of chat, someone in chat said, I don't believe you can use type of with custom types.
Yeah, type of is only to basically take a value and create a type from it. So we have to use type of here, because on line 3, const testing frameworks is actually a JavaScript value. It doesn't exist in type land. So type of basically grabs a type off of that and makes it a type. Which is why you need the type of. If you actually remove type of on line 15, you'll get a testing frameworks is a value, but
not a type.
A type.
Yeah. But that's a very lovely error message, at least. Did you mean type of?
It says, did you mean, but it also says no quick fixes available. So you gotta type that as 6 letters yourself.
Nice. Yeah. Also in chat, AJ Engineer says karma is missing from the testing framework. I like to argue it's not. All right, and
moving on. Cool. So terminology. Oh, okay. This is just, I don't think there's actually a test here. It's important to understand the terminology around unions. One of the types below is a union, one is a discriminated union, and one is an enum. Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, did you just call it an enum?
An enum? I was gonna let that slide as well. I call it an enum.
I don't use
enum because enum. I guess
don't.
enumerate, that makes more sense. Enum because it's enumerate. It's not enumerate.
Fair enough.
Or enumeration. I didn't think about that.
Forgive me. I see I've caused you some trouble.
Yeah. Tuple, tuple, am I right?
Rethink my life.
All right, cool. Yeah, so this is like info.
Do we want to answer it or do we want to move on?
Or... I'd say
is there a way to answer it?
Oh, you
have to like say which is which.
Is the easy one to know.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, we guess we could skip it.
I think we have to. It's in the set. I think we have to do it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
So, type A is a discriminated union. Type B is a union, and type How do you say this word again, Wade? One more time.
Enum or enum, I guess. I don't know. No, I don't know.
I pronounce it uwu.
Oh, okay.
All right. Mark's not allowed to say that word anymore.
Yeah, the enum or the enum is the one. Is C. So I think that's the answers for this one.
That's fair. What exactly makes it
Enum.
a discriminated union?
So basically, what happens is if we were to actually use basically this type right here is what makes it this is like the discriminator, so to speak. If you're looking at a union and you're actually creating a type without these, let me see if I can do it. This is going to be hard. Okay, never mind. Commenting out code is easy. Figures. So if we do like a variable const d, okay, let's not choose letters. Example of type A. Basically, what keys am I allowed to put in this?
Any keys.
Yeah, A, B, C, or D. And the reason that is because it's, we've unioned these together. But these discriminators, so to speak, allow us to basically force it to figure out which of the union members we're actually looking for. So I go type A, right? I can no longer add B because B doesn't exist when the type is A. So we've given Typescript enough information to discriminate which of these union elements can use B and C at the same time. When you say that, when you say can use B and C at the same time, are you talking about? Can you provide a little more context? Because like you can if there's not a discriminator. I think you can. I don't think you can define multiple types. So like in this case, I don't think I can do type B either because that wouldn't make sense. Yeah, we can't define the same key twice. So with the discriminated union, you can't. But if you remove that like discriminator, you can. This. That's totally
interesting.
So yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you don't have that type property, you can define any of them. But if you do have this type property and you add it into your object, it'll lock you down to whichever member of the union you're looking for.
Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that's a very fancy word for a concept I think I kind of understood. I need to remember that. Discriminated union.
Who's up?
I think you're up to that.
Oh boy.
Speaking of discriminators.
Oh, I guess we never looked at the solution too.
Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Yeah, well, it's
C is a union, but not a discriminated one. C is an enum or enum,
yep.
And then A is a discriminated union with type as the discriminator. Oh, cool! It is called a discriminator. Nice.
Nice.
All right, Wade.
All right, cool. So we want to get just the discriminated types out of this. Let's see. Discriminated union to discriminator problem. So that would lead me to wonder if there is a utility type called discriminator.
I don't think there is.
Okay.
But there are, I think. There's definitely not there's definitely not a utility type for discriminators.
No, I don't think we need any utility types for this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it just going to be type of?
We don't need type of since we don't have any values out there. We already have a type called event.
Yeah.
We see that type and event exist on every element in this union, right? So we should just be able to access those on the event type itself. Does that kind of make sense?
If we were to call those thingies before operators, I think there's a way to use another operator I don't think we've ever introduced in these exercises yet.
What operator are you thinking of?
Well, it's not key of, and it's not type of.
Value of?
I think the answer's in chat.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so it's not an operator. Yeah.
Since it's on every,
What,
since it's
key
on
of
every
type
element.
of?
No. Benglert. Is that how you say that?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's Fabio.
Oh, it's Fabio. Okay.
Yeah.
Pingler.
Okay. Yeah.
F.
Oh,
So
just
that
Pingler.
last solution. Yeah.
that?
Yep.
What?
Yeah. So that'll
So
give you the type of the property type.
it doesn't. Yeah. It basically creates a union of all of the elements inside of this. And I think a requirement for doing something like this is all of the elements in the union have to have a type, but we can check that like this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So
You'll have to. What would be your workaround if well, for whatever reason one of them really didn't have the property type?
That's a good question. Get rid of it from the union, maybe, because it doesn't fit whatever event's going for. I'm not sure.
I do the
It'll be
I
interesting.
do the typical do this. I make it optional, and then I claim that it'll be never.
Yeah. So I think if you get rid of
It
the
doesn't like
optional,
that.
if you get rid of the optional, it should be fine. And the reason that's fine is because it's
Oh,
just going to
because
union. So never is one of those types when it appears in a union, you can just throw it away.
But outside of the union, though, I think it can be annoying if you try to use the one that has type never.
So you can see, like, if we hover over event type, it's just click or focus, even though never's there. And that's because
yeah.
if we union never onto there, it's just click or focus.
So
So
is this case with like reading type from here, is that specific because I assume the member name type is uh, like meaningful. You couldn't change type to something else and still have this work. Is that accurate?
no, you can change it to whatever
It could
you want.
be. You could change
It
it to
just needs
event.
to.
Yeah, it just needs to be one of your property like keys or
Well,
property
no,
keys.
I
And
mean you could change. I assume you could change this down here and get a union of
Yeah.
those three things. But I mean, for a discriminated union, the having a member name called type, is that just by convention, or is that like required for it to be a discriminated union? Like, could you rename all these to like something, yeah, something like that, and still have it work? Okay, you can. Interesting. It just needs
yeah,
to be something that's a constant,
yeah. So what
or
makes it a discriminator is it's a unique value to that instance of the union. So you can see, like, this is what we're saying here is this property A can only be the literal type click, literal type being essentially a string. So the only value that can be assigned to A is click. And then since we see that this object has A only assigned to click, and this one has A only assigned to focus and A only assigned to key down, when you give Typescript that information, it's able to figure out which member of the union you're actually talking about.
now,
Yeah.
can you only have, sorry, one more question, then I'll let you guys keep going with exercises. If you wanted to have, like going back to where it was A, you don't have to actually put it back. If you had A and B on each of these, and the combination of those two is unique, but each of those values maybe appeared on multiple ones, is it clever enough to still discriminate based on the combination of those two values, or does it have to be just one?
Yeah, I think it does. It boils it down as far as it possibly can.
So like you could have,
Yeah, like just make two of them. You can just make two of them click instead of
uh,
Just give it like a keyboard event or something.
file event. File events are fun.
there's no file that, okay, yeah.
Here, I'll make one. Just set it. I'll make one for you.
Like, yeah, I can't think of any other event types. Okay,
Yep.
and then so this would be able to.
This doesn't mind. This doesn't do any discriminating against it. So this will still just give you a union of all of the A values.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Sweet.
So
Do we
yeah,
want to
looks like the
check?
event was the solution was correct that Fabio suggested.
Exactly the right one.
Good work out there,
Yeah.
Fab.
Awesome.
Cool.
I think I'm back up again.
Yes, sir.
All
Go for
righty.
it.
Okay, so it wants of type click an event now. So it just wants one of them. Interesting. Yep. Now, I assume I could solve this with conditional as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if there's a better way. I could also, I guess, what's the not a union, not like the or thingy. What's the and called? Intersect. I can do intersections. So I could say event and to kind of play on that idea of discriminants. I'm gonna say it has to be both of these. Does that work?
I don't think so.
Darn. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Almost. It gives me the first type that I'm looking for, but it doesn't. But then it also says that it could be just this as well.
Yeah, I think the conditional type is probably going to be the way to go, but I also think that there's something that already has it hidden away for you.
Is there? There is a utility for this thing then, huh? Is it?
Yeah, it helps Fabio's on it.
Extract, yeah. I was like, it's either pick or extract. I always get
those. The file name seems to be a bit of a hint in these.
Yeah, so extract, and then let's see here, extract for you. Yeah, so extract that's interesting. Extract at the end of the day is just a quick extension to Bobber.
Yeah, if we look at it, can you guys see it? I just jumped to it. I don't know if it's working in the live share.
Oh,
can you see it?
No, you have to make us follow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see it's just a quick little conditional type. Kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. So then if I do this, then without passing the rest of the information. Okay, so instead of doing the intersection, this works then. Interesting. And because event happens to also be unique between all of them, I could technically have gone a different route as well. I could have said this instead.
Yeah.
Cool. Pretty snazzy.
Oh, cool.
Like it.
Nailed it.
Woo. All right, what's the stupid answer? Let's see here.
You're right.
Okay, they did the first one. They didn't have the gall to show you the second solution. But see, I outsmarted them.
Sure, I'm sure that's what it was.
Poggers. Yeah. So what's the score now? I think we all have points. I think Fabio has a couple of points. Christopher has 1 point.
Are we keeping track of points? I didn't know.
There are points, and we all share the same points. We're all on the same team. Angular team, React team, unite.
Exactly. We're beating the backend team. Any backend
team? Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Angular or React. See? Bam.
Cool.
Right. I think David, I think you're up.
Non-key down events. So this one's kind of rough, huh?
Let's see here.
So
it's like the opposite of what?
Yeah, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking I just want to exclude this last one. So I think exclude is another one of those cool TypeScript utility types. I can do events, and I want to exclude the one that has like type key down.
Nice.
Yeah, looks like that does it.
But did you know there's a second way to do this one as well?
Is there?
Yeah. There's a second same solution, but technically it's not using type. You choose event. Augured, nailed it. I get a point for that too.
We do lots without you, Mark. Thank you.
I'm contributing. Awesome. Yeah, and then the solution key is the same.
Yeah, they for some reason chose to use the
you
type
could use
string.
it as well, yeah.
I think like the idea though of like when would you pick extract over exclude is
order.
Yeah, whichever one makes you do less work.
Whatever makes you do less work, yeah.
Or I mean, I guess if you're trying to get everything but one thing, exclude means you don't have to keep adding exactly what you don't want every time.
Yeah, if you know that you're trying to trim away that one thing, then like just trim it. Don't care about the rest of it. I think like a good example is like if you had an endpoint where you wanted to save the user or create a thing, you don't want to pass ID because the ID is going to be generated. So just exclude.
We do extract. Can we pass a union here? Or we just say like focus, if I could spell. Oh my. Focus. Everyone ignore my typing. I'm trying my best. Click. Okay, cool. We can also do that where we make our extract a little shorter so you don't have to combine multiple extracts.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. You want to move on to the next?
Noise.
Sure.
Oh, cool. Docs on as const. Const assertions are kind of cool.
So, what do we have? Okay, we have an enum or an enum. Oh, no. Okay, it's just an object as const.
Yeah.
Let's follow the link.
That's cool. So as const basically makes it, it tells TypeScript to be as narrow as it can with its inference.
It's very similar to wrapping something with the read-only generic, I think. It's not the same, but it's fairly similar.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, because on line 3, if you hover over program mode enum map, it gives each of the properties read-only.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry. As const also tells TypeScript that you're not going to change this, so it can, like, that's what allows it to really clamp down on its inference.
Yeah,
so it makes it read only.
It signals no literal types and expressions should be widened. Object literals get read only, and array literals become read only tuples or tuples.
Yeah, so if you remove like the as const real quick on line 10 and rehover over line 3, you can see that instead of having the string literals, it just says string instead.
Yeah, because they can be changed.
You can do as constant, boom, all of our strings are back, which it looks like is what we're going to need down here in line 23. So it's good we have it.
Yeah. Are there cookies for the winner? Yes. But Toby will give out cookies to all the winners because we're all on the same team. So we all get cookies.
So is this where, like, it's not value add. I know there's, I'm trying to think. Index access.
Okay, so now I think the answer clicked for me. So this is somewhat similar to a thing that we did earlier, but it's a little bit more complex.
Mm-hmm.
Of like the type of key of, is that what you're referring to? Being similar? Or
I was thinking of when you grabbed when you had the event type and it had property type, and you just wanted to get the unions of
like extracting or excluding in this case, I guess.
Not extracting or excluding. I was thinking of problem. What was it?
Yeah, I think
problem 8.
Or
I think first
8.
I think the first thing we need to do is kind of figure out what we're after. We're after the values inside of that object, right?
Yeah.
So how can we like go after those values?
Yeah, I agree, Fabio. I think if you had to add as const, even though it's definitely hinting that you should.
Wait, was that not already there?
No, I think it was. Okay. Yeah, but I think if you had to add it, that's tricky to have to add.
Well, for the sake of me not sitting here in pain and delaying time, I'm just going to let you guys continue solving these because I think I'm already out of my TypeScript depth.
Okay. Or you want to do it, Mark, or should I?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to do a key of, I'll wrap this later, but key of type of this guy. And this is totally not the right answer, but this is giving me capitalized group, announcement, one-on-one, self-directed, and all that good stuff. So those are the key. That's the property that I want. And I want that property, I want the type of those properties of whatever this thing is.
Yeah, you want whatever they map to.
Yeah. So let me.
Okay, so you're doing type of and just putting in like the union
Darn.
into the
Oh, key of.
index.
No, this is right.
You're right. You have more
You
stuff.
just haven't
though. Look,
excluded what they don't
yeah,
want.
there's only
Oh.
4 after.
Oh. Okay. So exclude.
Oh,
You can
thought
get
we
rid of
weren't supposed to use exclude.
Not
Okay.
supposed to use
Let
exclude.
them,
What do you mean?
know. Let them know.
Let's see here. Which one is it? It's group.
You're running off the side of the screen if you want to put a line break in.
I mean, I don't. Oh, I can't right-click format. Oh,
It's okay. I mean, well, there you go. I just hid the stuff on the right.
very, very pair programming of the future. Oh man. Okay. So I mean, can I just cheat and put group?
You also need to get rid of announcement.
Really? I can't count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there is one more missing. This guy.
Cheat, but I don't know what part of this is cheating.
I think it's kind of cheating to say group in announcement almost.
Why?
It just feels wrong. I feel like
There's two solutions for this, it looks like.
I have to say things like, what's it, key of or type of this thingy at group, and
I think you're overcomplicating it.
I think I'm complicating it just the right amount.
Okay, so in this case,
because
type of with the key just gives you the string value.
Yeah. Is there a can I exclude
Since it says const,
or
that makes sense.
is there the opposite of pick? Omit.
Yeah, omit's the opposite of pick.
So would a better solution be omit in here?
Yeah, you can do that too. I don't know about better. Better is relative. Depends on the situation.
I mean,
it needs to be lowercase. You
take because now it's the
you're in the keys.
Weird announcement. What's
going on here?
No, I think it's supposed to be capitalized.
Oh, you're right. I might have screwed that up. My bad.
Oh, good. But I think it's still wrong. Oh, why?
It might be mad. If you can, you just index with it. One second, I'm gonna play like this. Okay, so you can do that. So omit t stringer number. Maybe it's not liking this. No, it's fine with that. I'm not sure. We want to keep playing with it, or do we want to?
For the interest of time, yeah, let's maybe continue.
Should look at the.
1 sec. By excluding instead of including, is it harder to maintain? Someone adds to the program mode enum map, but doesn't update the individual program. Okay,
well, that'd be tricky, right? Because if you don't update the type, you'll get a type error, and you likely won't be able to merge your PR. But it ultimately kind of just depends. It depends on what's more likely to not change.
Yeah, I'd say if your case is specifically you have a group of things and you just want to make sure that 1 or 2 things are not in there, but you don't care if additional things are, then excluding makes sense. Actually, I feel like in a lot of cases, excluding probably makes more sense than extracting. Just because it lets you have room to have additional things be added that you don't have to explicitly update your type for.
Yeah. But yeah,
unless
it definitely just kind of depends. That's so weird. When you hover over keys, it thinks that it gives you like all the stuff about strings and stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where we screwed up on it. Because we just do
is key of type of, yeah. Yeah, wouldn't this just be a union?
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Oh,
Just put key in here real quick.
sure.
Or K in there. Yeah, that's odd. I don't have a reason for why it does that.
Anyone in chat?
Yeah, does anyone know? Whatever. I solved it once, or
Do we
more or
want to
less.
look at what the two solutions are?
It might be because it can't like maintain, it can't figure out that like you actually can index this with this type K. There's no like link. I wonder if we did it with like generics, it would work. But let's move on for now.
Okay.
The first one, okay, that makes sense. Use the
okay, so literally that, and then
so
that's
so
weird
this
formatting.
seems a little. I don't like their first solution, right? Because that's just straight up hard coding
what you want.
what I want. Yeah, I mean, like in a real world solution, I'm not gonna like block the guy's PR because he didn't like do some fancy TypeScript nonsense, right? This clearly works.
I don't think there's an issue with this one. I don't like, it's just another way to do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
You could have also, I mean, this isn't that much. I mean, I guess it is slightly less verbose than literally or manually unioning
This one's great
each of
because
those
like it's
values
very
from the const.
Yeah. So
like,
that's like my argument
similar.
with it. Yeah, like if you're gonna go all the way to just hard code, one-on-one, self-directed, etc., then like just go the extra mile, then, buddy. Just union one-on-one, lowercase, self-directed, planned one-on-one, planned self-directed. Why are you complicating it? Why are you even?
Well, you can this way you can add to this program app enum map, right? And as long as it's not an individual program, right, everything still functions. So I don't know. I don't think this solution deserves the hate it's getting.
I think
it's also way more readable than the other one. It doesn't involve you like to need to know what exclude does or anything like that. It's a lot simpler.
That's totally fair. I think if I saw a PR where someone wanted to merge either of these solutions, I would approve both of them. Both of them seem like fairly fine solutions to me. I think both of these are great solutions.
I think what you want though is you want to have some sort of like relationship between the two, like what you got going on with individual program 2. There's no like relationship.
The values
between
can
the two.
change, and they're still going to be there.
Yeah,
sure. The names don't change.
Yeah. I'm thinking like, yeah, but like you'll obviously be kept in check though, right? Like your consumption of both of these types, if something were to go wrong, you're going to get type errors. Like you will have to fix it regardless. It's both of them require the same amount of effort of maintaining. So for instance, if I add a new key, I have to be smart enough to know I need to add it to individual program. And likewise for individual program 2, I'd have to do the exact same thing. I will get a type error. I'll have to add it. I'll have to recognize, and then types will give me. But I see what you're saying. I would still merge both of these. I wouldn't block if one for one or the other.
I would probably go with the solution from this file, just because I feel like the more likely thing to change is the value, not the key in the enum map. So in this case, if the value changes, you don't have to update your individual program as long as the names stay the same. But again, I guess it depends on how it's being used.
Yeah,
Fabio says either make an individual program and a non-individual program and then create the enum with both.
Yeah, I agree.
So what's the other solution they had?
It was excludes.
Okay.
The one that, yeah.
Cool. Fair. Sweet.
Ooh. Number 12. Let's see. What are we trying to do here? Okay. So for this one, we just need those values, right? Is this going to make us add an as const? Is that what I'm kind of seeing? It's kind of the difference, right? There's no as const on this one.
There's no as const. Yeah, that's the punchline.
Yeah. So like I think we probably want to do something like type of front end to back end map. Key of first. Right, but this will just be string.
Yeah.
So we want as const. Hang that one out.
Now the question is that unfair of the person who wrote the exercises for them to make us make that alteration?
No, absolutely not. I think that's 100% fair. They even give us a warning something like this might be coming last exercise. I think it's great. It's good.
I mean,
too.
they definitely gave us some notes about it, but
you also got to remember like if you're to move like out of context of like the exercise and into development, adding as const is actually always an option. You know? Can you add as const on line 10? I don't think you can. I think you have to add it to values. But we can try real quick.
Yeah,
You can't
I
type
think
a thing as const.
Yeah.
So are you saying at the end, Fabio?
Yeah, the as keyword is used against actual values and not types.
You couldn't put it like in parentheses here.
It would be the same issue.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you can't put as belongs on values, not on types. Yeah, but you can achieve a somewhat similar-ish idea by so I mentioned this earlier, right? Like this idea is very similar to trying to use read-only generic instead. But the problem is by the time it's reached to that point, it's going to realize that the keys are of string. It's too late because it became read-only past the point in which it was something that could already be changed.
So we'd have to. We can try it real quick. We can go read only. It's just.
But then key of is still, I think, string.
Type of front end to back end map sub.
Okay.
Key of type of front end to back end map. So now if we looked at map, yeah, it's still string. So the as const does make it read only, but like it also tells TypeScript narrow down as far down as you can go. And since these are literals, it's gonna go down to the individual values.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like you're making it read only too late. Because by the time you're trying to claim that it's read only, it's already implied that it's a string. So it's like, yeah, they're read only strings, right?
I think instead it's just saying like we're not really talking about the individual values. We're talking about whether or not it can be modified. So it's saying nothing about what the key goes to or anything like that. It's just saying like, hey, you can or can't change this. It's like making something optional or not.
That is what read only does. But I'm so like if you look at what using const does, const is just a shorthand, right? Const saying this is the exact same thing as me saying this on all these things, basically.
It's not though, because you can't add read only on a value.
Yeah.
Well,
and
okay. Okay, fine. Let me make an actual type then. These are the same things.
If they're the same things, we should be able to just do.
Yeah, like for instance, on line 9, just hover over the type.
Okay.
They're exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
So
that's again values versus types, but
no. Like if you hover over line 9 after the colon, what does it show you? It's verbatim the thing I just typed.
Yeah, for sure. I'm telling you, like, yeah, they function the same. The difference is like one can be done on a value, one can be done on a type.
Okay, whatever. I don't understand. That's fine. Yeah.
Anyways, that's kind of cool. I actually didn't know about the read only, that it would do the same thing, but it makes a lot of sense that it does.
Yeah, there's also a read only generic that's very, very similar as well, but it's it's not as powerful as using as const. It does deeply nested adding read only to the type, which is really, really cool.
What it's called. Yeah. We can make an enum that behaves the same way.
Yeah.
True. Could make an enum.
Power of enum.
Awesome. You guys want to move on to the next?
Yeah.
Sure.
Or I guess, should we verify the solution?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just the key of type up with the as const. We kind of rabbit holed on that one. Healthy. Ooh. Okay. Okay.
Interesting.
Who wants to tackle it?
See who's up. Whose turn it is.
Go for
Chad,
it.
who's up?
I'm looking at chat.
I'm waiting. Here all day.
Oh. Nana or
You want to rock, paper, scissors for it, Mark?
I'm down. Oh, okay. Everyone
Okay,
pick a number 1 to 20.
All right.
I'm gonna pick 11.
Dang it. I guess if I want to be smart about it, I'll take 10.
Oh, I'll go with 9.
Thank you. I need a 10. Mark.
Yes. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So I want the. This is interesting. So does my implementation for apple or banana and for fruit, do these have to? Could they be implemented in using different techniques altogether? Is there a reason why? Am I just solving two separate problems so that they don't have to have a related solution?
Yeah, I think you can just solve them however you want to.
Okay. And this also, unfortunately, brings back to the same conundrum of, I believe I'm forced to use as const on line 3.
I believe you are correct. Otherwise, we're gonna just be dealing with strings, right?
Yeah. So that's cool. I bet there is something like tea in fruits.
Interesting.
Yeah. Let's see here. What if I did? I'm trying to think of how to do a conditional type.
I don't think you need a conditional type for this one. I think fruit is easier to start with.
Yeah. Which is kind of cruel that they make you do fruit, or they kind of suggest, I guess, that fruit comes after apple or banana. Or maybe it's not.
It depends on however your brain thinks about it first. So who knows?
Fruit's just all of them, right?
Yeah. But you want them as a union.
Oh, type of. That's what this gives me.
Just gives you an array.
That's the key of, though, right?
What is a key of an array?
That was 0, 1, 2. But I just want to make sure like this would be 0, 1, 2, I think, right?
I think I don't think so. I think that since we're looking for all of them, I think we just need to go type of fruit subnumber.
Okay. So this what is this then? Key of type of fruits.
It
I have
says
no idea.
key of read only apple, banana, orange inside an array.
Yeah. Still not getting a type error.
Key of read-only apple banana.
Yeah, I want to say key of type of fruits is just number.
Yeah, I think for this one, I think we just need to go like this.
Yeah. Well, so the solution I was working towards was do that, but
whoa,
cool.
That's an interesting result.
It doesn't expand the key of type of const array. There's a lot of words in there that I'm struggling to put together into a thought.
Yeah, but see, like that's interesting to me. Why? What's the difference between 5 and 6? No, yeah, my solution doesn't work.
No, yours is.
Arrays are just objects that are indexed with numbers.
Yeah, it's like for instance, yeah, like
Marx is more elegant, but apparently more internally messy.
So, like, for instance, this is the same solution, isn't it? Is it not?
I don't know. Since it's an array too, I wonder if we could do.
Oh wait, I don't want this part. I wanted to go back to. Yeah, what's the difference between this type? I'll just make a new type for it. I'll call it array index, but should just be number. What's the difference between this solution and this solution?
Yeti in chat said, I think it's one of those cases where it's technically the same, but the TS complexity is too high for it to actually function.
Interesting.
I wonder if it would work with string as well. So like rather than number string, because in JavaScript, right, you can access it with strings and numbers if it's an array.
So what is, he's suggesting, what do we see what happens if we take off as const? I'm curious what this does. Oh, it just turns into key of string, which is not meaningful. And then the other one becomes the, oh, wait, okay, here we go, yeah.
I want to try something real quick. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can't use, so in both cases you can't use a string. At least in this one. Thought it gave me an error. Okay, so I think that's like a subtle difference right there.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, so for this solution, I can pass 1 as a string. Interesting. Yeah, so this is doing the union of the actual numbers and also the union of casting those numbers to string versions of themselves. That's cool. Yep. And so then so then we have apple or banana. Let's see here. I have this type, so would it just be picking those things?
Yeah.
Or banana.
Or would it work to do type of fruits and then instead of number, just do 0 or 1?
I mean, yeah, that is true. I mean, I could. I believe that. Why doesn't that work? Oh wait, no. This is. A second.
Yeah, type of fruits.
Yeah, I mean, sure. If this is the solution,
could you could you combine those into 1, do 0, 1 in here? I don't think that I understood.
Yeah, you can.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, yeah. If I saw this like in a PR, I wouldn't block it. Like, yeah, this is definitely.
Oh my, more shade.
Yeah, but how would I
block it?
Do what?
You said you wouldn't block it, so.
Yeah, I wouldn't block it. Yeah. Well, I feel like there's so like
it's only slightly overcast, not quite shade.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so like for instance, with a lot of these exercises, right? Like, is there something wrong with me just saying that the answer is this?
Yeah, I mean, like I think the whole point of these exercises is to do transformations. So, like, is there something wrong with you doing it? No, but it's not in the spirit of what we're trying to do.
Exactly.
So
And
what would your actual solution be?
Yeah. So like that's the like the point, I guess, is like I feel like, is this closer to this solution, or is it closer to maybe like what an expectation would be for like a solution to like a puzzle? So like we have fruit, and I just want to remove. I want to either just pick apple and banana from it, or I want to remove orange from it.
Yeah. I think omit would probably be the way you'd want to go if you were actually trying to derive it from fruit.
So omit fruit, comma, orange.
Yeah. Omit. This also still doesn't like it. This is giving us that weird thing where it goes back to being a string.
Do you have to use the key of or type of fruits?
Yeah. Just try that. So you do it that way.
Same result looks like.
No, omit is doing something to it. What is omit doing under the hood again? Oh yeah, it's doing pick and excludes. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it looks like it's still going back to.
If I had to guess, I would say that this 0 or 1 is probably the answer that's going to be in the solutions, because it feels like that's kind of what they wanted to show. That you can grab stuff off with numbers, or if you don't want the entire thing, you can create a union that has like some subset of the numbers.
I guess.
Do you want to look at the answer?
Yeah, sure. I would have preferred if there was a solution with omit. That circles back to one of the attempted solutions.
It looks like that's what the solution was they had.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, cool. Yeah. I had no idea what the solution was, so maybe these exercises are working, that I was able to guess that. Yeah. I didn't actually think that was going to be a solution. I was just more curious if that would work.
Ooh, on to template literal types.
Ooh. So these are cool. When were template literals introduced in TypeScript?
4 point something, maybe 4.5. Feels like a 4.5.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.6. I'm just going to keep saying 4 point something until I'm right.
Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, it's definitely a 4 some or another. Yeah, so these are definitely like not something that I've actually have used in any project.
Okay, I have not either.
Okay, so it looks.
David, what? You taking this?
You want me to take a stab at it? It looks like what we're just trying to do is make sure that all the strings start with a slash. So I think we can just. So the template literal types do the backtick stuff, kind of like they do in JavaScript. So I think I can just go string.
And put a slash in the front.
Yeah. So it'll just basically match it to that pattern, I think. I'm not 100% on how the template literals work under the hood. But
so wait, does this should error mean that we should be getting errors for the last line 14 and 16?
Yes.
Are you seeing errors?
If you remove the comment for the TS-expect error, it'll have the error. But this comment and like I don't know what the comment part is actually called.
Okay.
Yeah, like cool. Maybe. Yeah. But yeah, it's silent. It suppresses the error. Cool. Should we check the solution?
Looks like that was it.
Sweet. Oh. Extract with template literals. What are we trying to do here? Dynamic roots. Okay, so basically it looks like we want to go over the... What was that?
Just want the ones that have the slugs for the...
Yeah, like the path or whatever you want to call it. Okay. Mark, you want to take a stab at it? Wade, you want to take a stab at it? Either of you? Mark, you're muted. I don't... know if you're trying
I mean,
to.
yeah, I can, or if Wade, if you want to try it.
I think you're more likely to be successful.
I think we can both get it. But is it just this thingy, and then this, and then I need backticks?
And then
No.
print $sign too.
Darn.
So you need to like reduce your union. Whenever you kind of need to reduce union, a good candidate is conditional types.
Yeah. I always forget how. I'm gonna write the part that is here. I'm gonna
You
call
probably also need
this.
that leading slash, right? Inside your.
I would argue that it should, based off of the problem set, but I don't think it actually matters. But I think it's part of string.
Yeah, I think string will matter. But
No, I'm not doing this the way that I want to do this. Because I'm not trying to take this part out. I always mix up the syntax for this thing, or like how to write this correctly.
Well, I'm glad I didn't say I would
Using
take this
pick.
one.
Pick sounds
like
you gotta
figure out what is extending it, right? You gotta figure out like what are you extending, or what are you trying to figure out that extends that. You gotta start your clause. There's no T.
And so like now I go back to what I said earlier. I have trouble trying to figure out how to write this thing. Yeah. But take a quick park from that idea. Pick routes, and then that
can you
nonsense
put
that I
that
had
same
earlier.
back in there?
Yeah.
Scratch colon.
Colon. It doesn't like this guy. That is super weird. I don't like what this thing is. Wait, is it pick? Yes. Its type is an object, which I don't think that's supposed to be an object.
Yeah, I think your first one was close. Fabio has a suggestion: roots, intersection, and then your temple literal types.
Yeah, so I think this was this. So we ran into this issue last time when I tried to use the intersection. Let's see, backtick.
Nice.
So this so this worked, but
so it just narrows it down further.
Why does this work and it doesn't think that the type could be technically anything /:D?
Because it's intersecting the existing union.
Yeah, I know, you're right. Yeah. I was thinking, do you guys remember the problem I'm talking about?
Does this work? I think so. I forget how to actually like grab the right value out of there. There's something in there. Sorry, what were you saying, Mark?
No worries. Do you guys remember the problem that it was? It was
Oh, the one you're trying to do the union on, or the intersection on?
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know. I don't remember which one it was actually.
Yeah, I think it was number 10. Yeah, but so like the problem that I ran into is when I did the intersection, it also included as the type, it was a union, and it got type click event mouse event, but then it also had an object with just property type with value click. So I thought that I was going to run into that issue again for this one, but I didn't. That's interesting. because that makes sense. Because even in both cases, there's no leftover cases where that can't be true. So like I guess like for instance, this would have resulted in the same issue that I ran for last time.
Oh, interesting. The solution used extract.
Extract. Yeah. So wait, I mix up pick and extract and all those things so much. Let's see here. Okay, so I chose the wrong operator. Yeah, or utility. Yeah, pick grabs the types or the value types of some instance.
Interesting that the slash wasn't there. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's still part of the string. You just want to make sure that colon's there, and that's the main thing.
Cool. Yeah, so like so even if I do this too, yeah, this will also not work. And this is for the same reasons why the other one. Oh, it does work. What the fuck? Weird. Okay, I wasn't expecting that. I thought this one was going to error.
That's interesting that they didn't include the slash in the solution, because this would actually end up including things like thing :ID. But I guess it doesn't really matter because it doesn't have to be like future proof or whatever. And it doesn't actually change anything if it's there or not without an additional item. Okay.
It also doesn't handle if you have like the dynamic part of the path at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, weird.
Cool. Should we do the next one?
Yeah. Sure.
Oh, fun.
Oof.
So template literal types are kind of weird because when you combine them, it like does all like the combinations of them for you. It's like this one's actually super easy, I think.
I was going to say, yeah, just having bread type.
Yeah.
And then the sandwich with in between.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Space sandwich.
I got spell. That's the hardest part of this problem. Sandwich with.
Have you guys ever gone to the restaurant Which?
Thank you. Spelling's hard for me. Autocorrect has spoiled me. No, I haven't. Is it good?
This is
pretty
cool.
good. It's like, you know, like your typical like Subway and all that, but has like slightly different options.
Cool.
Template literal types are cool.
Sandwich. Exactly, Fabio. Exactly.
Yeah. The template literals are really interesting. I wish that I don't know. I haven't seen any actual problems yet where I've had to try to solve it using it, but
I could definitely see it being useful in like trying to do like validating some sort of macro or something, like saying what are valid. That probably be overkill.
I think Express uses it to actually create some of their types. Like, you know, when you pass a path and you have a dynamic path with Express and then you access your parameters object, it has all of the values that are defined in the path. I think they're doing something similar under the hood. So that's kind of a cool use case. Another one is like when you need to transform a type and you need to like remap your keys to something using like those capital I's and lowercase. You were talking about those earlier, Mark. That's another kind of use case where they pop up. I've never used it on a project though, so.
Yeah. So like basically like for we said was it Express or was it React? Where they like problem number 15, like this would probably be like a much more dumbed down problem that they would be trying to solve, but like something way more complex than this, and giving you type safety. So yeah, I can see things like that. I also think like styles libraries, making sure that things end with like PX and colors start with a hashtag and all that good stuff. Yeah. I wonder if this is like, because like I feel like there's two worlds of TypeScript. There's like the TypeScript you use to like work on stuff, and then there's like the TypeScript that you write for like creating like a library or something.
Library TypeScript and application TypeScript, right?
Yeah. Like those worlds are very much different. Yeah, cool.
17.
Oh, might come in handy. Import S from TS toolbelt. String split. So that's just a generic that takes a separator.
That's something that's already available. I'm curious what that looks like. Okay.
What does it take?
That's interesting. I think we got a suggestion for a solution to a previous problem.
Confused.
I think we got to still like import it. Oh, there you have it.
There. I just don't know what it's supposed to do. It's not, it's like an entire, like if you click on S, it's the entire like API thing. There is a split in it though. Maybe they meant split, or maybe it's changed since this was created.
S dot split.
Okay, sorry. One person at a time.
Oh my goodness, we're all over the place.
Yeah, I'm out of there. I'm over here now.
I'm gonna delete this one. I don't know what's going on up here. There it is. Incredible.
Yeah. Wow, what a shameless plug. Or another library.
Cool. I don't know. Libraries are great. Why not?
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, a lot of these problems are already solved.
So what is this underscore split? Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so it looks like it takes in any... I have to
go and like see what pop actually is.
Yeah, I wonder what pop would be. Because doesn't pop imply that you were like mutate the original? Is that even like a world?
We're going down like the rabbit hole of type utilities here. Stop digging. Just accept that it works and
works. Move on.
Move on.
Go to number 18.
Nice. Okay. Interesting.
Oh, nice.
This is cool.
Yeah, some more conditional.
So it would just be.
I think we're just mapping. I don't think we do any conditionals. Yeah, you want to take this one, Wade?
I can attempt. So it would just be like. I do it? No.
Yeah, you got the right idea. Your syntax is a little wrong. You need to like your. Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
It does look like there's more than one way to do this. I bet one of them uses record.
Probably.
Yeah.
Record. Let's see. The first one uses record. And the second there it is.
What I did, yeah. Record's much nicer.
I like map types. I think they look nice. But I guess they do kind of look a lot like what's the is it called an index signature, where like you can define an object kind of like that too. Like you have key, colon, string, and then string.
Yeah.
So record might be better. Oh, both cool. Ooh. Number 19. Return what I pass in. Is this just generics?
Yeah. Right.
So like
this is just the
TP.
Okay.
Nice.
That was painless.
Cool. I like that. More problems like this, please.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ooh. Conditional types. Who wants this one?
Equal. Go for it, Mark.
Sure. So first things first, I'll add a T there. Seems like a theme. Let's see. I always still struggle with the thing here. But let me do. I kind of get my thoughts in here. Goodbye.
I gotta step real quick. Be right back.
Let's see here. Do I want to go this way with it? No.
Could
I
it
want to say
literally
if
just
T
be
extends. Goodbye, Google. And hello.
Otherwise, hello.
Goodbye.
Otherwise, goodbye.
Yeah. Nice.
See, is that how they did it?
Done did it.
They did the opposite of what you did, but
oh, whatever.
they did goodbye first.
Let's change the logic. There we go. Okay. Solved it. So I was half right. I mean, that's fair. I like to think of it not so much that I was half right as much as now I'm double right. I'm twice as right.
I'm back.
I'll go back.
Welcome back.
You. What number are we on? We on 21 now?
21.
We are 21.
Oh, cool. So we just need to add a little bit more, right?
Yeah, this looks like.
You just want to have never for everything else?
Yeah. Yeah, and this comes to like my rant about conditionals with TypeScript is I don't like ternaries, nested ternaries in general. But I
Can you do this one without ternary? I'm pretty sure you could just. I'm pretty sure
union?
you can.
Can you union?
Yeah, you just union hello and goodbye, right? You should be able to. Or no, because you're right. Even then, because then we'd have to like. Would we have to separate it out?
You have to specify when to say goodbye or to hello. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's okay.
Yeah. But it's enum. Can we use enums? Can we use uus?
Let's get Mark out of here. He's been here long enough.
Muting Mark's mic? No, I don't actually. I can't actually do that. I could kick him out of the call, but he'd still have code access.
Just delete everything. Just feverishly go through all the solutions and copy and paste them all into the exercises.
I solved the problem. I turned on word wrap. Now it doesn't matter if you guys go off the right side of the screen.
Nice.
Okay. So if T is a key of some enum return.
Okay, that makes sense. So,
I actually don't know if we could do it that way or not.
With the enum solution.
Wait, what was different between your solution and the actual? Okay, they just extended hello or goodbye.
Yeah, and then inside of that,
they did. Okay, it's not interesting.
Yeah, it's like more or less the same. I like your solution, David, more than theirs because you don't need to know if T extends hello or goodbye to come to an initial conclusion. It's simpler to just do it this way.
This is kind of nice though because it kind of tells you what the whole type is actually going to be around. Because like once you're inside of that little gap, because you have to linearly step down the type, right? And this one you can look at it and be like, okay, if it's hello or goodbye, we're going to do something, but if it's not, we're going to get out of there right away.
Yeah, I mean there's definitely like that idea of it, but like what happens when it's like deeply nested like 4 times? Are you gonna like start off where like there's the union of the 4? And then if it's like, okay, if it doesn't union all 4 of these, now let's see if it unions 3 of these.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it was a bigger union, that might be something that we'd want to take into account. But for 2, I don't think it matters that much.
Yeah.
Okay, get data value.
So we just want to pull out the value of data.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. We get to use infer finally. It's exciting.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, so we're just grabbing the value of property data from the generic. I think that's it's doing.
Yeah, you want me to do it? I think I got you then.
I mean, I could do it.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Let's see. T extends data.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, see, this one I would flag in a PR because what does moo mean?
What does woo
Moo.
mean?
That's a good point.
Does VS Code
Yeah.
just ignore word wrap staying on? I guess it's a per
And then I
file.
just leave comments.
Didn't close your parenthesis.
If only that made sense in the context of this type.
Well, I mean, yeah. You know. I mean, it can. I mean, I can type cow.
So presumably you, want to use never.
Yeah.
Can I do that? I can't do that? Darn.
All right. Are we on 23 now? Like losing track?
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be next. Why can't I
My
follow?
complex interface. We need to get point. Oh, okay. This is kind of cool.
Well, wait a minute. Is this?
What are we doing? Get point example.
Can we just grab? Or I guess it's more the infer generic. It's just more stuff.
Infer the non-string thing out of it. Oh, what's complex interface actually doing?
Well, is it fair just to grab the last one out of it? Just to grab the last generic?
Still trying to figure out what it's doing. We have my complex interface, which has like 4 generics in it, and it's not being used, so I'm assuming that the type doesn't actually matter. It's just giving us something to work with, right?
Yeah. So I mean, like if example were to extend my complex interface, then it must be the value I'm looking for is point of that interface.
Oh, okay. So we can just do. Okay, I think I was overcomplicating it. I think I have this one. Unless someone else wants to go.
Oh, I'll let you drive this one. Yep, and send back P. That's interesting that it allows for unknown. David, I know you are very familiar with the unknowns and the nevers and the any's. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'd be tempted to put any's first, but I like the unknowns more, like just as like a rule of thumb of avoiding any.
Yeah. Let's see what the solution was. Yeah, the solution used any. So.
Yeah. See, I don't know. Like, I don't know why. I just see any. It just makes me bitter. I think of all the projects with any's everywhere. I'm just like, never again, please. For anyone who uses Ionic, their services are down right now. Or there's an incident.
Interesting.
Or at least there was one an hour ago.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh, okay. So this is string. Okay, temperate literals, and then infer. Cool beans.
Inside the template literal.
Yeah. Wait, do you want to take this one, or can I take this one?
No, go for it.
Okay, so then I'm going to get the wrong answer first. If T extends names number, then I want. No, wait. No. If it extends string, which I always forget this stupid thing. Thank you, highlighting. Let's do last. And then never.
Nailed it.
Okay. All right, cool. I originally was going to try to abstract just each name, the first and last name, but I realized that that's not even close to what the exercise is trying to do.
Ooh, you also could use split.
Do what? Oh, you use
split.
Not split.
I guess that kind of gives you a peek into how split's probably working too.
So that's the catch. These exercises are not just an exercise for TypeScript. This is an onboarding to work on the S library.
Ooh, and
oh, interesting. Why do they infer first?
What?
Are you looking
If you look at their solution.
Which one?
For 24.
I don't think it matters. It's not being used. String.
It's like I don't think there's a reason for that. Yeah. Weird. Oh, and yeah, and of course there is a solution with split. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Just so you guys know, it's super easy if you use the right library.
Get server side. Ooh. What does get server side props do, Mark?
Oh, server side props.
You were in the training.
Oh no. I forget if it's server side rendering or if it's static site generating that it's used in. It's used in one of those for sure. So get server side props. I'm guessing this is static site generation.
Close.
No, is it the other one?
It is in the name.
Dang it. Darn. Okay, then yeah.
Someone throw a dig at Mark in general for being brave.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Wait, is get server side prop something like used in React or something?
It's an XJS function that lets you server side render a page.
Oh.
Yeah. Specifically, isn't it like it's like running a function like under the idea that like it's running then, but it's not really. It's gonna like once the static page gets rendered, it's like it'll do the thing beforehand, and then the entire page is made, and then it ships it.
Yeah, so when it runs on request time. So this get server side props runs on all requests.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, well, make sure that whoever gave me an egg, take the egg back away. I gotta study up.
Cool.
All right. Well, yeah, we got a thingy. Yeah, it's props. That's cool. Yeah, so JSON has value, object with string, yada yada. So we're just trying to extract props from the return type of this promise function.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah. Would it be? I mean, I'll go again. I don't know.
Heck yeah. If you don't want to do it, I can do it. I'm just throwing it out there.
I'll do this one. I feel like I can solve it. Hopefully. Type of.
It looks like they want it to be passed in through a generic on line 18.
Oh. La-di-da. Oh yeah, that's right. I did the same thing last problem. I didn't realize that they were passing it. There.
It's like we graduated from doing type ofs.
Yeah, so T extends a function to bobber And you'll notice that I shamelessly did not include the args. I don't believe in it. Unless the types call for it. Return. No, wait. Promise of something that has props of for a JSON thing. And get back that JSON thing.
You forgot to close your promise generic.
I did.
Nice.
Nice.
Good one.
Did it. Never.
So, yep.
You get no props.
Cool.
Yeah, see, their solution is less fun than mine.
Yeah, no JSON things.
Get parser result. Okay. Mark's favorite, nested ternaries.
Oh, yeah.
Or maybe you might be able to do this one with the union. I'm not sure. We can play both.
There is two solutions, so it's interesting.
Okay. So T extends parse infer return T extends extract. I can spell.
Oops, sorry, I hit undo instead of I was trying to use the shortcut key to put word wrap on.
I thought I just couldn't spell.
No, I hit undo for you.
Yeah, same Fabio. I wish there was a syntax that didn't use the ternaries. The thing about ternaries that I feel like I should get over is that like you could probably clear up a lot of your confusion just by just relying on your prettier to just format everything constantly. But like I can't. I need like square braces and stuff. I don't like not being able to just see where everything is.
Added the args just for you, Mark.
Oh, thanks.
I think this is one of the ways to do this, but it's a long one. But I think you can just throw all of these in a union.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is that problematic with the infer, you think, or not?
I think they just all have to be the same name. So I could do type GPR. I'm not typing all that out. I'm going to misspell it. Looks silly. Thank you. So T extends. Going to grab all of this. Boom. And then add a union. I have extract and parse. Oops.
And then I think maybe there's just some like open and close parenthesis madness that's missing.
Yeah,
unions.
something like this.
Yeah.
One line shorter, right? Can I count? Yeah, 5 versus 6. Well,
yes.
6 versus 7, I guess technically. But
I guess I like the second one more.
We should probably see if it works.
Oh,
Totally
it works.
Easily.
Nice.
Obviously works.
Okay, so this is just taking the 3 options for the signatures. Either you've got extract, parse, or any other args, or I guess nothing for just the one that has no, or is the function. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like that.
I'm pretty sure this is also the definition of like return type.
Yeah. I'm actually curious. What is the don't have to import this thing, right? You should be able to just see it.
Yeah, well, command click it and you can just go to it.
There you go. Where are you? Yeah, they do the
They use
any
instead of unknown.
Yeah.
Wonder they're all using any instead of unknown here. There's probably a good reason for it.
That's what I'm saying, and I hate that because I'm like, shouldn't you just use unknown? Isn't that technically better? Do I need to change my idea on that?
There's probably a good reason for it. This is gonna find its way somewhere. We're gonna get roasted for that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
So also constructor parameters and parameters. At the colon they put never, but then for return type and instance type they like to do colon any. And I know it doesn't matter, but the fact that they're different, it's like, well, which one's the better convention? Which one should be the practice that we try to go with? I don't know. What would be the difference? I guess never would likely cause an error if something went wrong, and the any would just make the types not work anymore if something went wrong.
Never makes it so if you get there, you screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the difference between unknown and any is anything can be assigned to type any, but unknown, the only thing that can be assigned to unknown is any, I think is the difference. Because I think they're both technically like top types in terms of like Typescript's typing system.
Yeah.
They're off the top of my head.
Like if I do this though, like T extends to.
Oh, where are you? I'm on 27 for that one. You on 26? Where are you?
I am
he's in
25.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. If test, I guess okay, I can just do it this way. Huh? Type test of not moo. So I guess type what is. Yeah, so what is any. So like if I was relying on what is, then the safeguard of why you choose any's over nevers is that the code will technically not require a refactor. It'll just error silently and you'll just move on with your day. Whereas I think the never, it would be of type never, and if you were to try to use it, you would get into problems.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so this is problematic. Something obviously broke. This errored silently. Yeah, this errored silently, and I don't know why it's not working. That's dumb. I like the never then.
Ooh, get to make an object.
Key remapping. Oh man. Oh god, this is more the K in stuff.
But just using it for the key and the value too, right?
Yeah. Do you guys notice that people use K in as like the convention? Is that okay? K stands for key. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I used R in this case because of root.
Root.
Oh no.
We made a joke at one point. So I have a convention I like to do in Angular where like I'll have a component. We always have our app component, but then I nest all my routing under a root component. So then there's the root or route or root route. Sweet.
Things to look forward to if you work with Mark on a project.
Yeah.
Ooh, so this one turns it into a function or functions that return.
Okay, sweet.
The same type.
Someone else want to do this one? Or should I do it?
I mean, I'll wait. Do you want to try it or do you want to? If not, I can try it.
No, go for it.
All
right. I regret my decision.
It's all right. I got you.
Go. Let's see here. I don't know. Function thingy. And
nice.
Hit it.
Would you flag it in a PR, Wade?
You better.
Probably, yes. Do like K's or nothing.
Yeah, it's like, why the woo?
Stop being so happy.
I'm glad you're enthusiastic about this task, but
yeah. How are things at home?
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, they do the K thing. That's a really neato trick. The whole K in colon and then like the type square braces K.
So it is this 29, is this going to use like the string literals to prefix? Okay, cool.
You want to take a stab at it?
Sure, I will attempt. So is it just going to be...
I've had this can of Coke just sitting here, getting
that too?
closer and closer to room temperature.
I have like this like tiny espresso that I've been like, give me the last little drops.
Well, so much
please.
for my thinking it was going to be super direct. How would I actually do?
You got the right idea. I think you're just in the wrong place.
You're
looking for love in all the wrong places.
Is this still incorrect?
Yeah, you're close though.
Am I at the? Which problem are you guys on?
You must not be the right. Oh wait, hold on. I don't have a closing. Key of K and key of.
So you kind of want to think of it as like asserting that the key has something different using as. Does that make sense? So like you want to do your template literals after you have defined your K and key of attributes, but still inside of the square brackets.
Oh. Okay. So K and key. So what I use extends?
Yeah, so, no. You want to think of it as like asserting, so like using like an as assertion. So you want to go like as
at the end of it, and then the template literal thing. So
yeah. Yeah. So that's close. Hover over attribute getters real quick.
Oh.
Yeah, the only difference is now
capitalize the.
Yeah.
So what is that? Is it? I know there's a utility thing for it. Is it just upper?
I can't remember if it's uppercase or capitalize. It's one of those. I think it's capitalize.
Yeah, capitalize would work.
Nice. Okay, that's cool.
What's uppercase?
Okay,
I think uppercase would make it all uppercase.
That makes sense.
Okay, so it's taking the keys and then casting it using the template literal. That makes sense.
Yeah. Have you guys heard of the word majuscule?
The who what?
Majuscule. It means that the word is capitalized.
Good to know.
So
I saw that in a YouTube video like 17 years ago. Haven't forgotten it.
So this one's interesting because we're going to have to pull things out of the union too.
Okay, so it's pulling out the route and then giving it the value for search. Interesting.
Yeah. So I think we're going to want to map over things and use extract.
Always forget the difference between abstract and omit. I thought today might have been the day I'd remember.
There's a union type called, extract. I thought you said abstract. Okay, never mind.
Then we just need to go. I think it's just extract from root where route is R, and then we want search on it.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Extract is crazy. So basically, whenever I see like a big like union of things I need to pull it apart, just extract. That's like my go-to.
Pretty good, pretty good. Yeah. And they got another one.
This one's kind of interesting.
Tried this one. So first things first, I see unions. So I'm going to try to start off with just unioning. I just want to get a union of part of the problem. Of values. And that should have gotten me. Isn't this email first name and last name?
It just says it's equal to key of values.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
this
it's email,
thing,
first name and last name.
Yeah, I wish this thing. No.
Yeah, it says the same thing as whatever the hover does. So if the hover doesn't give you anything, it's not going to give you anything extra.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm assuming that it is those values. Okay, so then got that. And then there is, we do, immediately stumped.
So I think what you want to do is map over this, create the tuples, and then do like the indexing with the key of, you know what I mean? So like,
so?
Yeah. So do a quick mapping over the keys. Yeah, you want to do over key of values.
Yeah. Oops.
Key of.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you want to make the tuple right here inside of on line 10. You want to make the tuple right there
because
both bits of the data.
Yeah. So like if I wasn't and I was just getting the values of, I would just do this and call it a day. But because I want tuples, so this would be a union of a single element array of each value, and then this would be including the key.
Yeah. You don't have access to key out here though, so you have to do key of values.
Okay, interesting. So so outside of that mistake then, right? So like if I was trying to build this out from without just knowing what to do, this would just be string. And then
this would just be string.
What was it?
No, you're right.
And then single element array of string, and then this is the key, and then the return type.
Yeah, so basically if you want to make a union out of something from an object type, you basically want to do this thing where you are accessing it from the key of it, like the key of it.
Yeah.
And it'll give you values in a union. So
yeah,
it's like a nice way to do it.
Yeah. It's like if I was actually building this out and trying to like actually create something and not solving exercise problems, like that's I think where like I would start off at is like I do the key in value of values colon values k for no particular reason, and then key of values, and then work, and then just change it and tweak it as I need until I get the shape I'm looking for.
Yeah. Makes sense. I think we probably got time for like one more, huh? Does this thing end at 2? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think that was the
2 for
the plan.
2 for Mark and I. I'm not sure where the time zone you're in, Wade.
5, yeah. Do we have one? Do you have time for one more?
Yeah, go for it.
So.
Yeah. So is this exactly the same thing, but with the string literal?
I think so.
Cool.
F and key of fruit map. Boom, 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 boom. So we want the key, so that'd be F. Then we'd want the value.
Fruit map of F.
F. And then we have an object. We want a union.
Yep.
Although we could go full circle. There's discriminated unions as the next. Spent a lot of time on that in the beginning. Might be kind of fun to end on that one, but it is late where weight is.
That's true. How do you feel? And this is also the last one of the section.
Yeah, go ahead and finish the 33. Oh wait, we just finished 33. Or no, we didn't.
Or yeah, we're on 33.
Okay.
Okay.
So then
you want to do it, Mark, or you want me to tackle it?
I'll give it a go. Sure.
Okay.
So it's a union of the thingies. So I'm gonna try to take my advice and say a good starting point is to do this thing.
Yeah, but there's no key of a union.
Oh, well, that's always good. And okay, I guess. Everything's falling apart immediately.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, 1 second.
You have to map over like a union of strings. So basically you want to try to create some sort of string union that you can map over.
Yeah. So like you said a thingy and then you're like, so you need to do the thingy. And that second phrasing was just a reordering of the words you used in the first part of the phrasing.
Yeah, so you need a string union. So it's a map. So if you want to map, you need to create a string union.
Awesome. Yeah. So if you want to do it, you better do it. I was like, all right, sounds fair. Darn. Well, let's go with, I don't know. Let's try to naively get this. And then get this. And add the missing kebabbers. What am I? Oh. Okay. So this is problematic.
Too many combinations.
Too many combinations. Okay.
Orange apples. That's not okay. Actually, I guess red oranges probably wouldn't be great either.
Yeah, I don't think you can. Can you do the dots instead like this? No, I think you have to. For TypeScript, you have to do this, I think. Okay, so then now we just need to the delimit lesson. So our discriminant lesson.
I think we can do this a little simpler too, by using a map.
That's fair. I'm completely lost with the map. The instructions was use a map and then do the thing, and I don't know.
This is the key
what that
remapping
means.
Section thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any other instruction other than just make a map? Because like I'll make a map, I guess.
Well, basically, right? Like we want to map over something, and then we want to use what we're mapping over to grab the correct member of the union to combine into a single string. So then we'll have an object with the correct values, and then we do the key of trick to turn it into a union itself.
Oh.
It's hard to talk about. Sorry.
All good.
So maybe here. Let me get you started.
Okay. Cool. Okay, so then kind of add more stuff to it. I feel most comfortable once I get this shape going. And then obviously this is just not the right shape yet. So then, do I have my clipboard still? I don't. Okay. So boom, fruit, name. I guess not name. You do name. Oh, and this is where the extract trick comes in.
Or just, wouldn't it just be name?
Yeah, it would
You don't
just
need
be
to have it
name.
in fruit
Or just name. Oh, I guess you're right, huh?
because you already got the name thing going.
Yeah.
Then for this last part, would it still just be fruit color?
I think
This
that's
is
going
where
to
you
get you
want
the
to do
same
the
that you had
extract.
before, right? Okay, yeah, so extract.
Yeah. Basically, you got to pick the correct one of these or extract the correct member of this union. And the right one is wherever the name lines up. So for Apple, we want to grab this and then use the color property.
Yeah.
So I think your name part's good. It's the second part you need to change.
Yeah, that's fair. So I think I mean like I feel like I kind of get it. I don't know how to get it from here, but like if this was an object that had a bunch of weird pairings, I'm trying to explain to it that I'm looking for the specific where name is specifically capital name. Now saying it out loud is one thing, but
yeah, so you want to extract from something where the name is that capital name, right?
Sure. So let me type that, extract. Oh. Or maybe. What does definitely not.
Oh, well, that's what I was thinking. So much for me.
But also, once you have that object, you need to get the color property off of it.
Oh, right.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so then
have
it. Hey.
There we go.
Whoosh.
Apples are red, bananas are yellow, and oranges are orange.
Yeah, that's not always true. That's fine.
What are the solutions? Okay, so the first one was the extract way. Ooh, and the second one, that's interesting, is using conditional types and infer. That's kind of cool.
Okay, yeah. So I think this second approach was probably the direction I was trying to maybe walk myself into before. If I was to naturally try to solve this problem, it would have been with this one.
Yeah. The other interesting thing is in this one on line like 23 and 24, it has that extend string. And I think that's so you can use it inside the template literal types. I think you get rid of extend string. It doesn't work.
Yeah, you can't put, yeah, it gets mad because you can't put symbols and.
Yeah, you might be able to, if you get rid of extend string, you might be able to like intersect it with string inside of the template literal down below. It's like, can we do like, I think you could do it like that, but I think this is probably nicer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, alrighty. Sweet, we got almost all of them. Challenges are left.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Whew.
And then there's helpers.
That's
the expecting.
That's the magic that's happening under the hood.
That's cool.
Yeah, these are cool.
Oh.
Boy, I definitely need to brush up on my TypeScript. There's a lot more to TypeScript than I have learned just through using it over the past year or two.
Yeah, it's great. And then the rules are like slightly changing, right, with the satisfies thing.
Yeah, I haven't read through it all the way. I haven't read through like the release notes or anything. I need to get through that.
There's a video I posted in the Angular channel. It's like a 3 to 5 minute like explanation, and it's just basically the example, and then he just walks you through it, and it's like, oh, sweet.
Sweet.
Oops.
Watch.
Cool. Well, this was fun and slightly demoralizing for me, but at least I guess it's encouraging. There's a lot more I have to learn. Um, so yeah, thanks for the idea to do the stream, and thanks for being here and doing most of the exercises.
Yeah.
You gotta play an outro song now and wait for the drop.
Oh,
Then
don't have an outro song. Just have an intro song.
Let's see.
Oh,
Now you got to write an outro song.
yeah, maybe I can just play the intro song backwards.
Yeah, with the fade in. All right,
Cool.
cool.
Well, thanks, folks, for watching. Um, and we will be back at some point with another stream. How's
yeah,
that for concrete future plans?
Yeah,
wonderful.
maybe more TypeScript.
Yeah, we've at least got 6 more exercises.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, well,
Alrighty.
you guys have a good evening, or I guess afternoon for you. I'm going to go have a good evening. Um,
Awesome.
and see everybody next time.
Cool.
Bye.